Hey guys, and welcome to a battle of the sub-factions as myself, under the guise of Melon Lord, shall be leading the Fellows of Nagash up against Metallic Malice and the Crooked Moon Gobbo Horde. We are on Red Desert, so certainly fighting on home turf here, and if you guys have been struggling up against Greenskins in general, this is a really fun tactic that you can deploy in an attempt to outwit your opponent. Now, going for certain sub-factions does give you access to units the rest of the faction can't receive, such as like the Pirates of Sartosa, getting the Free Company Militia, and so forth. But here we come in with the mighty HEXWRAITHS. In this sub-faction we get access to a few units from the Vampire Count roster. We get HEXWRAITHS, Fellbats, as well as Direwolves, and all of them are going to be featured to date. HEXWRAITHS are very powerful up against Greenskins in general. Not only do we look incredibly badass and fearsome, we do magic damage and fire damage. In general, Greenskins don't have the best damage output themselves when it comes to magic. They have a few options, Fist of Gork, Spirit Leech, and so forth, but in the most part, these guys are going to be a big fat nuisance. Our main battle line is going to be Skeleton Warriors as well as Tomb Guard. In fact, quite a lot of Tomb Guard, including the Regiment of Renown in the central portion. The more cheap units are out on the flank. We have King Nekesh's Scorpion Legion in babysitting duty, protecting the Casket of Souls, which is currently unleashing hell upon some of those gobbos. Up in the skies, we have one unit of Fellbats. On the right-hand side, we have Direwolves hidden in the trees, likewise on the left-hand side. And we have a unit of Crypt Ghouls, which we do get access to by being this sub-faction. Leading our force in the back here, we do have the mighty Ark in the Black. Looks like he was misdeployed. I think my opponent locked in a little bit quickly, and we're kind of rushing to deploy our forces. He's going to be coming in with the Tomb Blade of Arkan, as well as the Staff of Nagash. We have the Liber Mortis, of course, the Purple Sun, Spirit Leech, and the Aspect of the Dread Knight. He's pretty fearsome on his little beastie as well. For my opponent, he's gone very thematic. We have double Night Goblin Squig Hoppers over on this left-hand flank and double on the right-hand side as well. And apart from that, it is full gobbo. We have 2 units of Night Goblin Archers and a big core of the Night Goblins dotted all the way along, including the Regiment of Renown version, the 8 Peak Loons. Another Squig Herd is going to be coming down at the gullet of the main part of his force. Double Arachnarok Spider and Skarsnik leading the way. Although it looks like he hasn't brought a wizard, which is a big mistake in my opinion. I always highly recommend bringing a caster. Up in the skies, the Fellbats, again, absolutely slaughtered. A little bit slow micro from me. They're crumbling and going down rather quickly, but I was pulling back the Direwolves away from the threat of the double Night Goblin Squig Hoppers. We are moving the HEXWRAITHS out over onto this right-hand side to help support these bad boys and try to get a little 2v1 on one of these units. In come the Direwolves bounding forward, looking to pin in the Night Goblin Squig Hoppers, take the charge and allow the HEXWRAITHS to come in and really start racking up that damage value. Getting some kills early on. One of the big spiders, though, is being dispatched over to the side, and in the centre of our force, the other Ragnarok Spiders is going to drive straight in after the casket. We don't have great anti-large forces in this build in particular, so HEXWRAITHS is going to float over, pin in the big spider, and allow the King Nekesh's Scorpion Legion and the Shepherd Guard to really do the damage, and the Casket of Souls is simply going to fall back. Tomb Guard are now going to start to engage with the Crypt Ghouls on the Night Goblin Legions. Unfortunately, one of our Tomb Guard do get hit by those loons, doing massive damage to us. But luckily, in the back line, the pesky Direwolves, which we did deploy in the back line, are feasting upon the souls of these Night Goblin Archers. Certainly not a good day to be a Goblin. In the back line, Ark in the Black has finally been remembered. Popped down some Skeleton Warrior summons. Just flown over here, trying to be a bit of a nuisance, whilst the Casket of Souls is once again saved. And on the right-hand side, we did a decent damage, beating back both units of the Night Goblin Squig Hoppers, and now going to be once again coming back into the centre of the build with our HEXWRAITHS as the Casket of Souls continues to rain down fire. HEXWRAITHS, of course, come with that lovely physical resistance, but fighting something like a spider is very scary, particularly when the war is popped. And in the central portion of the battle, it is just an absolute mess. HEXWRAITHS holding back the enemy, though, while the King Nekesh's Scorpion Legion come in here and do some really lovely big damage to the Arachnarok Spider. Even Ark in the Black is getting over here, getting in combat and starting to slaughter some of the little gobbos who are struggling despite the fact they have Spike the Bad Moon currently popped on them. In the back burner, the Direwolves once again slaughtering Night Goblin Archers, doing some nice damage and getting them off the field as quickly as possible. And there's some rampaging Squig Herds who have managed to return to the field. Ark in the Black, though, chasing away troops where he can. Casket of Skulls is one of the main focuses of attention from my opponent. Spider pushing its way through, trying to get on top of the artillery piece. This time, the double HEXWRAITHS barring the way, as this other Arachnarok Spider has been broken from the field. King Nekesh's Scorpion Legion helping to escort it, although Ark in the Black will be taking over that job, as it's pretty healthy still. 3,200 health. It's absolutely massive, so if we can escort off the field, that's going to be some good work for us. In the back line, the mighty direwolves are hunting down the Night Goblin archers. This unit in particular, up to 93 kills and some really fantastic work. Unfortunately, the other one did struggle a little bit more. Night Goblin archers continue to pour in fire, although the Crypt Ghouls being a really good clearer of chaff. HEXWRAITHS driving forward now onto the Night Goblin archers, helping out the wolves in the back line just to clear up the troops. And with that glorious terror coming in up against the Greenskins, we're certainly going to be seeing some big tear outs going down in the end game here. And you can see these guys are actually terrified before breaking for good. More HEXWRAITHS float out to this flank, beating back the Night Goblin Squidcoppers, and once again protecting the Casket of Souls, who has fallen back behind the safety of King Nekesh's Scorpion Legion. Such a badass sounding unit, and they're pretty cool as well. They're going to be poking this giant spider where possible, and it's lowering its health slowly, but with one of them off the field, it's not quite such a threat. We do have the Shopty Summon coming down, just an attempt to assassinate Skarsnik. Looks like the 8-peak loons have managed to get off their third crazy little spinny guys, although this is actually just from the Night Goblins, so no 8-peak loons there. Doing some big damage though, going through the ranks, exploding in puffs of blood and bone and a little bit of dust. Once again, the spider in the back line is hunting down the Casket of Souls, doing some really nice damage, but all the time it itself is also taking a bit of a beating. Ark in the Black has now forced off that enemy spider and shall be returning to try and do some magic in the back lines, hopefully get round here into the rear of the enemy and start casting a load of sneaky spells. Kepguard doing a decent job. Fermented Fungi has been popped on once again. Some of the twirly whirlies, as I'm going to call them, are going for our battle line, doing some really nice damage to the Tomb Guard, as well as the Kepguard here. But my opponent's build is starting to crumble. Balance power is heavily in our favour at this point. Casket of Souls just focusing off units which are returning to the field. And with Skarsnik being completely surrounded and beat down, the mighty spider, though still healthy, doesn't have the stomach for such a fight. And it is going to be a Pyrrhic victory, so very well played to my opponent. Super fun game and some pretty crazy units. I love his Goblin theme, and also us bringing those one or two units you don't get to see terribly often from the Tomb Kings, of course, because you have to be the Fellows of Nagash. Now, this is a sneaky tactic which will certainly work up against newer players who don't realise you can bring HEXWRAITHS and so forth in this matchup, and they're not prepared to bring that magic damage. However, more experienced players will know that if you switch to the Fellows of Nagash, you're probably going to be doing some sneaky schemes with those undead and ethereal units all round. But still, very well played to Metallic Malice. Put up a good fight despite the kind of struggle he was going to always have, taking down those HEXWRAITHS. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to give the video a big old thumbs up and subscribe for more glorious Total War Warhammer action. We're also going to be doing some Rome Total War early access soon as well, hopefully coming in the next week or so. If you also want to support the channel, down below there's a link to my Patreon, as well as a link to my Discord, where you can submit replays, get involved in tournaments and all that kind of good stuff that we host, as well as chill out with a load of cool guys, get better at the game, learn the game, also just see a load of glorious pictures of ducks. By the way, on to the glorious stuff, which is of course that damage value and damage dealt. And let's start with the HEXWRAITHS, because they were such a key component to this force. 1.3k damage value is certainly very impressive from this unit, and 84 kills, and 1,490 from the other, 130 kills. Not only do they bring that real solid kind of core unit, they also bring Terror, which can obviously force off Greenskins. Terror in general has always been very good up against them, particularly if you can assassinate their leaders. So I'd highly recommend trying these guys out. Certainly good fun, and a unit I don't get to use terribly often. The Kepguard were a nice solid backbone, as well as the Tomb Guard. Some of them really struggling again, low damage value, but others 767, 776, not doing too bad whatsoever. Likewise, the King Nekeshan Scorpion Legion, still plenty left to give, about half health, and managed to get a mighty 636 damage value. Crypt Ghouls helped as well clear through the chaff. Felbats, unfortunately, 0 dealt, 0 damage value. That was my mistake, though, from kind of leaving them over that at the Arrow Court for too long. The Double Direwolves did a good job, though. This one only 175 getting forced off, but the other one certainly making up for their fallen brothers. 821 damage value, hunting down that back line and just sniffing out the Goblin Archers who were stalked, and then feasting upon them, pushing them away, allowing the rest of the build just to tank the damage. Casket of Souls always been very good here, nearly 1,000 damage, 945, certainly not too shabby. 147 kills, once again helping to clear out chaff. Ark in the Black, only 424, but his magic was really quite key here, helping us to break down the enemy force. As for my opponent's build, I say it every single time I see full Goblin builds, I love the build, it's so cool. Skarsnik, only 313 damage value, however, kind of getting really stuck in the muck in the middle. Then that you Shopty Summon, beat him into submission. Across the board, though, the Night Goblins did really solid work, particularly for the Fanatics. 691 damage value onto 8 peak loons. Others, though, 1,000 damage value, 677, 462, 545, and massive kills for them. Unfortunately, the Night Goblin Archers did let him down a little bit. Not particularly great damage value on them. 475 isn't too shabby, but 344 is pretty pathetic. Likewise with the Night Goblin Swing Hoppers. Again, good idea, but the Hexwraiths countered them hard and just forced them off the battlefield time and time again. Likewise with the Squigs. One of the spiders did a pretty decent job, 1,128 damage value. Still not paying for itself, but doing good work nonetheless. The other one, only 410, is a big disappointment. And then getting escorted off the field by Arkan is obviously a sad sight to see. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed. Until next time, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.